What's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Memento deck profile. So I'm really excited to do some for you guys because this deck is an extremely powerful deck to play this format, especially with all the spicy tech cards I've included in this build for you guys. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell next to become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Again, your name's here for a single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're playing 3 copies of Darkblade. Darkblade is the best starter for the entire deck. So this card has the ability, if it's a normal or special summon, you can actually discard a Memento card and then target a spell or trap your opponent controls and destroy it. But the reason this card is an awesome starter is because during your main phase, you can actually destroy a Memento monster you control, usually this card, and if you do, special summon a level 3 or lower Memento monster from your deck, starting your entire combo. We then play 3 copies of Anguish. Anguish is an amazing 3-of as well in the deck. This card has the ability of its normal or special summon. You can actually add a Memento monster from your deck to your hand, which is the card you're usually summoning off your copy of Darkblade, so you can search out an additional Memento monster like your copy of Yugioh. This card also has the ability you can actually target a level 2 or lower Memento monster in your graveyard, destroy a Memento monster that you control, and if you do, special summon the targeted monster to your side of the field, which is a great effect. We then play 3 copies of Yugioh. Yugioh is definitely a 3 on the deck and is an awesome extender that you can search off your copy of Anguish, because if you don't control any monsters other than Memento monsters, then you can special summon this card from your hand. Also during your main phase, you can destroy a Memento monster that you control, and then send any number of Memento monsters with different names from your deck to the graveyard, whose total levels equal less than or equal to the destroyed monster's original level, which usually you're just popping Yugioh to get you monsters equal to level 5 into the graveyard directly from your deck, getting you more monsters in the graveyard so you can summon out your copy of Combined Creation. We then play 2 copies of Memento Goblin. This card is so important now in the deck, and it's just absolutely crazy how important this card is, because this card is a goblin monster, and we can actually use a new card that we just got out of Rage of the Abyss called Goblin Biker Grand Breakout with this card, which is absolutely crazy. But this card is really good in the deck because during the main phase, if you control a copy of Combined Creation, quick effect, you can discard this card, and for the rest of the turn, your opponent cannot target Memento monsters you control with card effects, and during your main phase, you can actually destroy 1 Memento monster you control, and if you do, send up to 2 Memento cards with different names from each other from your deck to the graveyard, which is an awesome effect to get you 2 monsters into the grave. We then play a single copy of Acheron. Acheron's a new card that we just got out of Rage of the Abyss, and this card is actually really good, as it has the ability this card is normal or special summon. You can activate this effect that this turn, level 9 or higher Memento monsters can attack directly, which is such a powerful effect to help you go in for game. Also, this card has the ability, if this card is destroyed by a card effect, you can actually target one of your other Memento cards that's banished or in your graveyard and add it back to your hand, helping you recover your copy of Combined Creation just in case it gets banished. And if a Memento monster is in your hand or face up on your side of the field is destroyed by battle of a card effect while this card's in the grave, you can special summon this card, which is an awesome effect just to be able to bring this card back to your side of the field, so you can swing in with all your high level Memento monsters and go in for game. We then play a single copy of Memento Sheep. Memento Sheep is basically a walking polymerization, but I feel like 1 is really all you need for this deck, and this card is really good in the deck because during the turn, a monster in your possession is destroyed by card effect. Quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand, and it's also a walking polymerization for your Memento monsters, which is absolutely crazy. We then play a single copy of Gaddock. Gaddock is a really good extender in the deck, as this card is the ability, if this card is normally special summon, you can target a Memento card in the grave and then add it to your hand, and if this card is sent to the grave by a Memento monster effect, you can actually special summon this card, which is such a powerful ability to be able to use this card and get it in the graveyard just so you can bring it back to your side of the field. We then play a single copy of Mace. Mace is amazing in this deck as a 1-up, as this card has the ability during your opponent's main phase, if you control a copy of Combined Creation, quick effect, discard this card and target a face-up monster your opponent controls and take control of it until the end phase, and also during your main phase, you can destroy a Memento monster you control, and if you do, add a Memento card from your deck to your hand, except another copy of Mace, which is a really cool effect to basically just use this card like a change of heart. We then made a single copy of Horned Dragon. Horned Dragon is actually my favorite among all of the Memento monsters, and definitely comment down below what your favorite Memento monster is and what monster you'd actually like to see turned into a Memento monster. I really like this card because it's based on Horned Dragon, but it's a pretty good boss monster in the deck, coming out at 2850, and this card has the ability, if you have 3 or more Memento monsters with different names in your graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand, which is such a powerful effect, and this card on the field is destroyed by card effect. You can target 3 face-up cards on the field, including a Memento card you control, and destroy them, which is a great effect to help you pop cards on the field. We'll play a single copy of Combined Creation. Combined Creation is our main boss monster of the deck, and this card is super easy to summon out to your side of the field, and it comes in at 5,000, which is insane. It cannot be normal summoner set, it must be special summoned from your hand or your graveyard by shuffling 5 other Memento monsters with different names from your hand or graveyard into the deck or the extract, helping you recycle your resources while also bringing out a 5,000 monster, which is absolutely insane. Also, while you control no other monsters, this card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each, and once per turn, if your opponent activates a card or effect except during the damage step, you can special summon a Memento monster from your hand or your graveyard, which is an awesome ability for this card to have. We can then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is definitely a 3 out in the deck to basically just stop your opponent from touching the deck. We can also play 3 copies of Droll and Lockbird. Droll and Lockbird is really good at stopping your opponent from searching for the rest of the turn. I also play 3 copies of Nibiru because it's super easy to out in this deck, and this card is just really good overall to break your opponent's board. And then finally, I play 2 copies of Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler is really good in this deck to stop your opponent's monster effects. So, that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of the Memento Field spell. This card is really good as a 1-of in the deck, but you really only need a single copy of this card because it's so easy to get to. This card is the ability if your Memento monster battles, your opponent cannot activate any spell or trap cards until the end of the damage step. And if a monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target one of those monsters and special summon a Memento monster with a lower level from your hand or your graveyard. And you only use effect this card once per turn, and once per turn during your end phase, you can target a Memento spell or trap in the grave and set it back to your side of the field, which is a great effect to work with your copy of Fusion or even Bone Party. We then play 3 copies of Memento Fusion. This card is an amazing 3-of in the deck to help us step into all of our fusion plays, because during the main phase, you can fusion summon a fusion monster from your extract using monsters from your hand or field as material, including a Memento monster. And also, if a monster in your possession was destroyed by card effect this turn, you can also shuffle Memento monsters from your graveyard into your deck as material as well, making it super easy to be able to fusion summon in this build. This card also has the ability, during your main phase, you can actually banish this card from the graveyard and then destroy a monster that you control, and if you do, add a Memento spell or trap from your deck to your hand, which is a really powerful effect for this card to have, helping you get to the exact card that you need. We then play 3 copies of Bone Party. Bone Party is extremely important for this deck. This card lets you destroy a Memento monster in your hand or face up on the field, and then take a Memento monster from your deck with a different name and either add it to your hand or special summon it in defense position, which is an insane ability, basically just being an E-Telly for the deck. This card also has the ability, during your main phase, you can banish this card from the grave, target a Memento monster that you control, and if it attacks a defense position monster this turn, it inflicts piercing damage to your opponent, which is a really powerful effect to be able to use your copy of Combined Creation, so you can go in for a game with that 5,000 monster. We then play 3 copies of Goblin Biker Grand Breakout. Now this card is absolutely broken in this deck. This card is so good in this deck, because this card can let you summon out your Memento Goblin directly from your deck. This card lets you tribute a monster and then special summon a Goblin monster from your deck, but it cannot attack this turn. That's totally fine. That's the only effect we're ever worried about in this card, is if you summon out one of your Memento monsters and your opponent targets it with like an Imperm or a copy of an Effect Veiler, you can just chain this card to be able to tribute that monster so it will lose lose the target and your effect will still go off while also giving you a copy of your Memento Goblin onto your side of the field, letting you dodge certain hand traps and certain targeting effects. But this card is really good overall, just to help you get your copy of Memento Goblin out on your side of the field to extend your plays, but this card is absolutely broken in this deck, and if you're not playing this card, this it's just insane. This card is so good in the deck, and it's so amazing that we're using cards like Goblin Biker cards in this deck, because we have Goblin cards in this build. So, that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get in to the traps. So for the traps, guys, we're going to start with a single copy of Cranium Burst. Cranium Burst is an amazing one-of in the deck that basically turns your copy of Combined Creation into an Appaloosa, which is insane, because while you control a Memento monster, your opponent's monsters that can attack must attack the Memento monster you control with the highest attack, their choice if it's a tie. Also, when your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, except during the damage step, you can actually target a copy of your Combined Creation you control. It loses exactly 1,000 attacking defense, and if it does, negate the activated effect. Also, you can activate this effect once per chain, meaning it basically turns your copy of your Combined Creation to an Appaloosa, which is insane. We also play a single copy of Angel Statue. Angel Statue is really good because we do play Still Hat Rabbit in the extract, because this card can actually negate special summons and makes it so your copy of your Still Hat Rabbit, when this card activates, will pop a spell or trap on the field, which is really cool. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, guys, we're going to start off with 2 copies of Creation King. Creation King is definitely a 2-of in the deck, and it's just such a powerful combo piece in this build, as you can banish this card from your graveyard to be able to add the Memento field spell from your deck to your hand, which is such a powerful effect to be able to use. This card also has a really insane ability that it basically, if this card is fusion summoned, you can actually send 3 Memento cards from your deck or extract to the graveyard, and quick effect, you can target an equal number of Memento monsters that you control and cards your opponent controls and destroy them, which is such a powerful effect to help you pop cards on the field and get a bunch of your Memento cards into the graveyard. We then play 2 copies of Twin Dragon. Twin Dragon is an awesome combo piece in this build because this card has the ability any monster destroyed by battle with your Memento monster is banished instead, which is a really cool ability. And if this fusion summon card, or this card is fusion summoned, you can actually destroy a Memento monster in your hand or face up on the field, and if you do, add up to 2 Memento monsters with different names from your deck to your hand, and if this fusion summon card is destroyed, you can actually special summon out a Memento monster from your graveyard, which is a really cool effect to instantly get a Memento monster out on your side of the field. We then play a single copy of Guardian Chimera. Guardian Chimera is super easy to summon in this deck, as you just use your copy of your Memento Fusion to be able to step into this card, because it is a quick play spell card, so you can use it to be able to step into this card, kind of like Branded Red. We then play a single copy of Underworld Goddess. Underworld Goddess is just a great option overall, just to help you out towers like boss monsters. Play a single copy of Access Code to pop multiple cards on the field, and then plus it comes out absolutely massive to your side of the field, which is amazing. We then play a single copy of Selene. Selene is great in this deck, so we do play a lot of spellcasters in the deck, so we can step into our copy of Access Code, which is really nice for this deck. We then play a single copy of the Dark Charmer. Dark Charmer is great to be able to bring back a dark monster from opponent's graveyard, then step into Selene and then Access Code, which is a great OTK line in the deck. You then play a single copy of SP Little Knight. SP Little Knight is great in this build, but if you don't have this card, you can change it out for Nightmare Phoenix or even Nightmare Unicorn. Nightmare Unicorn would probably be a better option so you can still spin cards, but this card is great because it's a double interruption. We'll play a single copy of Still Hat Rabbit. Still Hat Rabbit is great in this build to be able to set your copy of Angel Statue to your side of the field, and this card is just one of my favorite cards in the entire deck because it's so cool to be able to bring out to your side of the field. Set your copy of Angel Statue, and when Angel Statue is activated, you can actually target a spell or trap your opponent controls and destroy it. We play a single copy of Moon of the Closed Heaven. Moon of the Closed Heaven is great in the deck to be able to work with your copy of Underworld Goddess, so you can basically just out 2 monsters when you summon out your copy of Underworld Goddess, which is amazing. We play a single copy of IP Masquerena. IP is really good in the deck as a 1-up. Basically just step into your copy of SP during the opponent's turn. We play a single copy of Cross Sheep. Cross Sheep is great to help us link climb in this deck, which is why I play this card in the build, because we do fusion summon a lot in the deck so we can bring out a monster from our graveyard. And finally, we play a single copy of Relinquished Anima, just in case we need to gobble up an opponent's monster. So, that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played Memento before, you should definitely give this deck a try because it's so fun to be able to play. And it's based on a bunch of old school nostalgic monsters, which is so cool. I absolutely love playing this deck, and it's just one of my favorite decks to play currently because it's so amazing to be able to just basically summon out all your awesome Memento monsters and go in for game. So that's going to be this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell and there's the income part notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.